I remember meeting her for the first time last year at my gynecologist's clinic. I remember sitting next to her and waiting. The thought of a big round stomach terrifies me, I told her. My nightmares are full of these big round stomachs. The doctor says, now nothing can be done. It's too late. I wake up feeling uneasy and breathless, I told her. It's never any different with many of us, she said, and went behind the green curtains. Who do you think Kalpana is?
I think Kalpana could perhaps be someone who's staying in my neighborhood.
Kalpana, you say, is a fictitious character, but I don't know why are you calling it a fictitious character.
Maybe at the tailor's shop.
She just wants to be happy. You know that all these women are trying to be very happy, and we all want to be happy.
This Vasudha had given.
ये cot है in case you're carrying the baby somewhere.
This is the carry cot. There are 3-4 types of rattles actually.
तो एक को देखना कैमरा में.
Cute now.
Yeah.
So do you do this regularly, like photographing?
Oh, we've been doing this right from the second month.
I remember Mama, when I used to come back from school, and Mama standing in the kitchen taking me for horse riding once I'm back from school. And she was going to a school, she was a teacher, how she gave up her own job, her career, because she wanted to be a mother. And you know, after that I was born, Angad was born after a gap of 7 years, and how she could never go back to that phase again.
हेलो. हाँ हाँ, बन रहा है अभी तो. मैं ठीक हूँ. लक्ष्मी बना रही है खाना. अरे क्यों? तो वो तो 4-4 हैं. मम्मी नीली साड़ी में, ऑरेंज में है, सूट में, साड़ी तो है, वो गोल्डन बॉर्डर वाली में भी है. आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. जितने सारी फोटो हैं आप उनमें से भेज दो.
She went behind the green curtains. I kept waiting outside. I recall the words and sounds that I overheard. You are approximately 9 weeks, the doctor told her.
It's 2 months now. So you're approximately 9 weeks.
It is true that in India the law that makes abortion possible for women is not the result of a feminist campaign. And this is actually very interesting because unlike in the West, where feminist movements had to struggle for the right to abortion and still struggle, the right to abortion is under serious threat from the Christian right wing in the US. In India, it got the question of abortion got tied up with population control, and as a result there was hardly any opposition to the idea that the right to abortion should exist.
The process, the original project to say that by amniocentesis we will be able to tell you whether it's a boy or a girl, and if it is a girl we will abort it, happened throughout 70s in government hospitals in India. The government not only paid for the test and the abortion of a female fetus, but actually sort of touted it as an ultimate solution to the population bomb. In the original paper written by Dr. I.C. Verma, who was a professor in All India Institute, who professed amniocentesis and female feticide as a method of birth control, said in as late as 1975 that in foreseeable future, and I quote, in foreseeable future, the number of girls killed will be too small to affect sex ratios. Indeed, how wrong he was. 31 years later, we know, and 31 years is a very small time in a nation's history. Though this government in 79 or 78, late and 79, banned sexing and abortion in government hospital, it chose to look away for decades while it was being done openly with newspaper advertisements, television inserts till early 90s. After which the advertisement has stopped, but the practice has not, which is obvious from the census reports.
She's got 2 daughters. I've got a daughter and 2 sons. So when we're talking to customers, you say, okay, we've also been through it, and so then they ask you, okay, what do you have, and how it just goes on. So suddenly they say, oh, you have 2 sons. You're so
that's
lucky.
wonderful. That's
You're so
fabulous.
lucky. A lot of fabulous is okay. They also
Yeah.
say you're so lucky.
So when you discovered that now you're pregnant, what was your reaction?
I was not prepared for this at all. I remember I got to know about it in the first week of December that I had conceived. And my initial reaction, to be very honest, I was blank. It was not a moment of happiness. It was not a shock either. I knew somewhere at the back of my mind that this is going to come. I somehow had that gut feeling, somehow had that some indication that yes, I think I'm going to do the test, and maybe the result is going to be positive this time. But in my hearts of hearts, I still didn't want it to be positive. I wanted the test to be negative because I was just not prepared for it. I had shared with my mother and I shared with my husband, and he could understand. But again, I believe, just because everybody was so happy and excited about the news, and even he did try to reason out, why we would not want to go ahead with it. So the fact that somewhere he was also trying to put reasons to it, why not, made me feel that even he was not totally convinced with what I was sharing with him. Except my mom, I think he was the only one whom I shared with, but it was only my mother who could really understand what was I going through, what it actually meant, why I had fears, why I didn't want to go. That why I didn't want to go ahead was clearly understood and accepted by her, but no one else.
आप मुझको ये बताइए, जो ये बच्चों के पोस्टर्स आप दिखा रहे हैं, इसमें ज़्यादातर लड़कों के पोस्टर्स हैं।
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, लड़कियों के भी है। आई हैव इट, यू सी द गर्ल। आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि सिर्फ लड़कों के, पर मांगते सबसे ज़्यादा लड़कों के हैं। सबसे ज़्यादा लड़कों की पोस्टर मांगते हैं। अक्सर लेडीज़ें कहती हैं इसको। आदमी इतना बहुत कम कहता है, लेकिन लेडीज अक्सर कहती है कि मुझे लड़के का पोस्टर दिखाओ।
She remained like a blot of silence in my mind. I imagined asking her questions I wanted to ask. I imagined her answers. Till I met her some 4 months later. My nightmares, however, have persisted. Last night, I dreamt the nurse in the green room once again.
My mother wants one more photography. Once again she wants me to get few pictures clicked.
For what?
For shadi. See, I'll show you. See, so many, last 7 years, so many times I've got clicked. There are more actually which are not with me. They're not happy. They want once again. And when I say you can show this red sari, now they want in a red sari.
So don't you want to get yourself photographed?
See, it's already happened so many times and it doesn't work.
I remember looking out of my balcony that morning. I kept looking.
The house was full of people, chatter, laughter. I wanted to wear pink, maybe green. I didn't want to wear red.
And why do you find it very difficult?
Anybody can come and comment on your looks. Anybody can comment on your hair. One guy's mother told me, बाल क्यों कटा लिए, थोड़े लंबे बाल ये अच्छे लगते हैं. So my mother immediately jumped and said, वो मैंने कटा दिए, इसके बाल इसको तो लंबे ही पसंद हैं. You know, कि इसके तो यहाँ तक के थे, मुझे छोटे बनाने में प्रॉब्लम, अब बढ़ा लेगी, अब बढ़ा लेगी. And when I told this to my brother said, हाँ अगर वो सास बनने वाली है उसको इतना हक तो है ही कि वो बालों पे कमेंट करे, आफ्टर ऑल बहू है.
पीछे से कहाँ से? हाँ अच्छा लग रहा है वाइट कलर में. अच्छा
थोड़ा सा इसमें कंट्रास्ट कलर चाहिए था कोलियस का.
हाँ 4 o'clock I have taken the appointment वहाँ पे. So 3 or maybe I think 3:30 then. जला क्या दिए मामा? Who's going to water them every day?
आज शाम को जाओगे ना?
हाँ. I'll get that कड़ी पत्ता also back. मैं नहीं वहाँ पे कुछ रख रही अभी. I'll get it back. I still remember how I went to the doctors, visited 3 doctors, another friend of mine who's again a doctor. So I actually consulted 4 doctors, and somehow none of them ever gave me the option of terminating the pregnancy. I know the first doctor I visited, she asked me, why would you really want to, why would you really want to terminate the pregnancy? You have everything. There's no financial crisis. You have a good job. You have a support system. You have your parents. You have your in-laws. Why do you want to, terminate it? Why you don't want to go ahead with it? As if this option is not available at all.
देखिए जैसे आपके पास ये 2 ड्रेस हैं, इसके अंदर ये रेड कलर आपके ऊपर ज़्यादा सूट करेगा, मैट्रिमोनियल कलर. ठीक है, ये वैसा ये रखिएगा.
पैकेज कौन सा भैया इनका?
ये SPS2.
And right from the day it was decided that this weekend we have to go and meet the guy, my mother would start commenting on my dress, on my hairstyle, and she would dislike everything, disapprove of everything. I as a person have gone through real bouts of depression because I am a very appreciated person when it comes to dressing, carrying myself, my hairstyle. But my mother just hated everything that I wore on the day, however bright, dull, whatever it was. If it was a white suit, it would look dull to her. If it was pink, it would look too soft to her. If it was sleeveless, that particular day something was wrong in sleeveless. Otherwise, there was nothing wrong.
So how's the schedule these days, Madhu?
It's been very hectic, Amreen. For the past 1 week, I've been almost working 12 hours in a day.
So how are you feeling about all of this?
I'm okay with it now, finally. But it's difficult. It's difficult to manage, especially in the last trimester. The last 3 months are very crucial. And it's difficult to manage all alone, the house, the job, going to the doctor visits.
I take the coffee out and join the rest in the veranda. Their eyes shift from one corner to another. They watch me with cold eyes. Just formal, cold conversation. I hear my baby wailing from the other room, my little girl. Give her the blue toy fish I got, he says. Time is running out, another one remarks. I realize the clock is ticking. I'm anxious. They want more coffee. I get up and go into the kitchen.
लतिका फेस मेरी तरफ टर्न कर लीजिए, कमर थोड़ी स्ट्रेट, हल्का सा फेस को ऐसे झुकाएं. बस दिस इज गुड। हाथ छोड़िएगा लतीफ़ा, ढीला हाथ रखना लतीफ़ा, यहाँ से पकड़ लीजिए हाथ, मेरे कैमरे में आइज रखिए, शरारती अंदाज, यस 10 ग्राम मुस्कुरा कर, यस।
One proposal I'll tell you, there was a boy from Merchant Navy. He was in Bombay. So when the talk started, he was undergoing some surgery. So he took almost 3 months to come. Meanwhile, he kept talking to me, and that one photograph was sent to him. He was sent many other photos also, and everything looked perfect. I had come down to this kind of compromise that I will shift to Bombay for a while because his family was there. When this boy came to meet me after 3 months, it was right in the first moment that disappointment was there on his face. And when he went back after 2 days, he told me that there was a conflict. He was in love. This is his exact words. That he was in love with the personality, with the mind, with the thought. But if he married me, people would laugh at him because he thought I was too ugly.
Comfortable? Easy? यहाँ देखिए, फीलिंग्स, यस, ऐसे घूम जाइए थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेट, बस दिस इज गुड। फेस ऊपर से सीधा, थोड़ा सा स्माइल, नाइस पिक्चर, नाइस। सिर्फ फेस को टर्न करिए, ऊंचा फेस करिए, बस हल्का सा डाउन लिटिल बिट।
There was one match in which the boy was too simple. This was also through internet or through newspaper, I don't remember. We met in Nehru Park because by then my father started saying that Delhi hut is jinxed. We will not meet any more people there. So when we met in Nehru Park, he had come with the whole jig bang of his sister, brother-in-law, another brother, his wife, their kids. So there were 15, 16 people came to inspect me from top to bottom. I was made to sit in grass, and so many 32 eyes were looking at me constantly, and they asked me that the guy's mother asked me कि मसूर की दाल में तुम कौन सा छौंक लगाते हो, तुम्हें छौंक लगाना आता है कि नहीं आता है. So at some point it is so intimidating that so many people are looking at you and then asking such stupid questions.
स्माइल एकदम से कर देना. हाँ, yes.
Anyways, when I went, so the family, they were too simple and they were actually rustic. And the boy's father asked me that why did you leave science after class 12? Had you continued, you could have taught science to your children and you would have saved tuition money. And can't PhD be done through correspondence? Now, they were too simple, I understand. But what these two questions tell me was that, they couldn't have understood my life.
तो इसमें जो आपके एक्स्ट्रा हेयर्स हैं वो हम हटा सकते हैं. इसकी ब्लाउज का कलर ब्लैक है तो अच्छा नहीं लग रहा थोड़ा, आप इसका कलर चेंज भी कर सकते हैं.
ग्रीन भी देखें.
श्योर.
It was a nice conversation in which I asked him that what is it that you want to do in life? आप जीवन में करना क्या चाहते हो? तो उसका जो आंसर था, मैं एज इट इज़ बता रही हूँ कि मैंने जीवन में बस ये सीखा है कि एंटरटेनमेंट ही सब कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए. और बाज़ार में 18-19 चीज़ें मिल रही हैं एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए, पर मैं तो घर में ही रहना चाहता हूँ. आप समझ ही रही हैं मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ. मेरे पास हैदराबाद से USA से भी ऑफर्स थे, पर मैं नहीं गया कहीं दूर. मैं अपने माँ बाप के साथ घर में ही रहना चाहता हूँ. Now whatever he was trying to say, I didn't really understand, but what I understood that a person like me who on her own has changed decisions in the course of career in education. I have left jobs and I have pursued my higher studies after break. All that I have done, which I tried telling him, but he couldn't understand. He kept asking me, तो जब PhD हो जाएगी उसके बाद तो आप समय पे घर लौटी आएंगी ना 5 बजे, खाना तो बनाएंगी आप, घर की सफाई तो देखनी होती है औरत को. And that's when I realized that this man cannot understand me. I can't understand his simplicity, and I said no. Now that no to that boy meant that for 4 months my parents just did not talk to me. My mother is 1.5 years just has not spoken even a single word about marriage to me, about my clothes, anything. She stopped talking to me about it, because before that whatever she spoke was related to marriage. ये सूट यार आज तो बड़ा अच्छा सूट पहना है, उस दिन जब लड़के से मिलने गए थे तो इतना घटिया सूट पहन लिया था, which to me was a brighter and a better suit which I wore for the meeting, but she always discarded such things.
Though we glorify motherhood so much in India, I mean, in fact, we think of woman as mother, but that precisely is the problem, that we think of the woman only as mother. Well, traditionally, that was the case in any case, and that still remains a dominant part of our ways of thinking. So I think what happens in that context is that A, there's no way you can be a mother usually, except if you belong to a very elite population or something like Sushmita Sen or whatever. You can't usually be a mother without marriage. And usually you cannot be considered to be a successful wife or a daughter-in-law unless you have had a child, right? So there is a way in which it is all packaged, and that we know that, I mean, the ceremonies surrounding marriage and so on, especially the Hindu ceremonies, there is god bharai and so on, which means that that is very much the reason why you get married. In fact, it's not really traditionally conjugality. Conjugality isn't the most important reason for marriage. Sexuality isn't really the most important reason for marriage. It is primarily to take the family lineage forward. And if you have to take the family lineage forward, then in that the most important thing is that you have a son. Marriage will definitely place her in a position where there will be multiple others constantly asking her this question. Why not yet, when, etc., etc. And so that way, you know, it will be foregrounded after this, and you will always be reminded that you are aberrant because you have chosen not to have a child.
There are a lot of elders who are not really my first family, and they've asked me, okay, so do you have kids? And I tell them, yes, I have 2 daughters. They're like, acha, to bete ke liye kab try kar rahe ho? Had it been 1 son and 1 daughter, they would have said, oh, very nice, family
Or even if
complete
it had
ho
been
gaya.
2 sons, they wouldn't have said that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if it was 2 sons, it was fine. Family complete ho gaya. But when my second daughter was born, I do remember my mother showed a bit of a disappointment. Maybe she thought that had I had a son, you know, mothers always feel that maybe my daughter would have a better standing, but my mom-in-law was absolutely fine. My husband was absolutely fine. My friends were happy for me. But there were a lot of outsiders who would come to me and tell me, acha, beti ho gayi, chalo, koi baat nahi. But that is not what I want them to come and tell me in the hospital. You're coming to congratulate me. But it's so strange, half the world didn't even congratulate me, you know.
Each one of us carries a psychology of having been, you know, mothered. Therefore, there is also a desire to mother, right? So it's not, well, I'm not trying to say that there's no desire left at all, which is autonomous of the way the culture is constructing you. But the fact is that the social location that you have is one where you're supposed to produce a child, and that child is not really yours, but it's very much a child that belongs to the family. Okay, and it is the production of that child is supposed to serve a certain sort of purpose from the perspective of the family.
No, in fact, do you remember that customer who had come to us? She had 2 grown-up daughters.
Yeah.
One was about 8 and one was about 12, and she was pregnant. So we were like, was this unplanned? Because, you know, if you have 2 grown-up daughters, you don't want to have a third one. This was a couple of years back, about 4 years back, when you could get the sex of the baby checked. So she's like, no, I'm having a third one because I was very keen that I wanted a son, and she was a very smart woman. And she said, I was very, very keen, I needed a son, and I have no qualms about it, and I actually went and got it checked, and I decided that if it's a daughter, I'll get it aborted, but if it's a son, I'm going to have a third one.
My nightmares, however, have persisted. Last night I dreamt the hospital and the nurse yet again. They moved up and down in a dark alley. I felt my stomach. It was stretched round and very heavy. It's too late now, the doctor said once again. The nurse was looking at me from behind the green curtains.
और मे बी पैरामाउंट का देख लेते हैं. Just for Max then.
जहाँ पे भी मर्जी करवाना.
मुझे लेकिन वहाँ अभी भी डर बहुत लगता है वहाँ जाते ही.
क्यों डर क्यों लगता है?
Because everything is very haphazard वहाँ पे.
तो तू जा क्यों रही है मुझे ये बता.
My in-laws are
Myth.
like after my life मैं घर के पास नहीं
You
जाऊँ.
have to play them, so don't. जहाँ वो कहते हैं ना वहीं पे करवाना.
I remember one of my cousin saying that in my last trimester in the 7th month there's normally a custom amongst North Indians which is known as God Bharai, and how everybody was so enthused about it, excited about the God Bharai custom, and how I just didn't want it. And I still remember she told me, come on, you know, it's almost the end of pregnancy now, another 2.5 months to go, and how detached you are with the entire concept, the entire process of motherhood. It's not about being detached only, but why everything is blown out of proportion, and you know, as if you know, if you're not a mother, you're nobody then.
So Millie, now apart from the fetal movement, now you are preparing yourself mentally and physically for the labor, for the delivery.
Kind of, but I think
Still you are
still I'm
still
hesitant.
the fear is in your mind.
Yeah. अभी भी मुझे बहुत anxiety होती है. ऐसा लगता है I'm not going to come alive out of the labor room. One of the reason why I didn't want to go ahead with the pregnancy was because I'm too scared. It's a phobia for me. Whether I would be able to, you know, go through the labor pains. Will I be able to take those labor pains? Will I actually come alive out of the delivery room?
Pregnancy to me has been a very fascinating idea. You know, time in life which has a very happy, glorious image. It gives me some kind of pleasure also to see a pregnant woman going for a walk or in the market or eating in a restaurant. I still have vivid images of pregnant women whom I saw maybe 10 years ago or 12 years ago.
And apart from jotting down the moments, what else you are feeling regarding the baby?
Now at least I feel a bit attached. I'm talking to the baby, and especially when twice or thrice a day.
Well, the rest of the time you are busy. And what is the suitable time when you are talking to the baby?
I know I've always heard how wonderful the entire process of motherhood is and how it naturally comes to you. But I'm still hoping that natural feeling, how when you connect to motherhood, when you connect to being a mom, comes to me. I'm yet to really experience that feeling in the true sense. Agreed, it has come to me, but it's such a conscious effort, it's such a deliberate effort where I talk to my child just because my doctors asked me to do that, where I count the movements of the child and write every day in my diary, yes, there were today 12 movements, yesterday it were 10 movements. But all this is such a deliberate effort. I'm actually putting in effort to count the number of movements. I'm putting in effort to talk to my child. Somehow it has never been natural to me, and I'm hoping against hope, you know, really, that this comes to me and whatever everybody keeps on telling me and what I keep on hearing around me comes true.
Since very early in my life, I developed this desire to be a mother soon. Although when I was making my career, so I wanted to postpone it for a while. So, you know, I thought maybe 27, 28, by then I would be married. This is what I thought when I was 18, 19. So 27, 28 would be the perfect age. But after going through these experiences of matchmaking and not happening all this, I realized that it was not working out. Yet my desire to be a mother remained firm and is firm. So now I've reached to a point when I'm convinced that marriage or no marriage, motherhood is there. I have to be a mother because it is about my desire.
I lie on the examination table once again. 3 times in less than 4 years is not a joke, I tell myself. My body grows tense. I clench my fists. I close my eyes. The oddity of this posture is humiliating. The doctor is looking at me from above her specs. She pushes the speculum further in and smiles. I emerge from behind the curtains and find her scribbling on a pad. Her gaze is now comforting. She takes a deep breath and says, "It is not difficult. You know it isn't."
In our medical school, we were often taught that medicine is an art and a science. But now that I'm in private practice, all I see is the commerce of medicine. I don't see the art or the science in it. We have a large medical profession which is starved of patients, which is greedy, wants to make money. There's a large demand for feticide, and this profession is providing it, and there is absolutely no fear of being caught. Now, all the organizations like PNDT authorities, the health authorities, and the law enforcing authorities, which are designed to catch these malpracticing doctors, is actually hand in glove with them, to the level that after almost 12 years of the law being existing, only one doctor has now been finally charge sheeted for doing feticide, while we have somewhere between 4 and 6 million girls have been killed only in the last few years in this country. There's been only one conviction. So this cannot be coincidental or just oversight. We produce nearly 35,000 doctors or more. A lot of them train in Russia, China, and come back and practice in this country when we have only a few hundred jobs per year. So bulk of medical graduates are actually unemployed, or what we euphemistically call self-employed. That means you get a degree, you have no job, no vocation, no regular income, so you sit under a peepal tree or a 5-star hospital, wherever you find a room, and wait for patients to come into the clinic and do to them whatever you want, which leads to what we call medical entrepreneurship. So first, there is a medical entrepreneurship which is born out of a rampant unemployment amongst doctors and a desperate need to make money. And second is a complete lack of regulation of the medical profession. Now, Medical Council was made by the Act of Parliament. It's a quasi-legal body which was made in 1956, but in the last 50 years it has found no doctor worth being debarred from practice, except perhaps Dr. Sriram Lagu, who was barred from practice for giving a Chyawanprash ad. Doctors have committed murders, rapes, and involved, and we know that cuts, commissions, fee splitting, ghost surgeries, and all the possible malpractice, including feticide, is rampant in the country. Yet the MCI, Medical Council of India, whose very existence is to prevent these practices, just looks the other way and just talks about recognizing and de-recognizing phony medical colleges.
How long have you been here? I've been here for the past week, 10 days. I stopped going to office after mid-July, and since then I shifted to Mama's place and I've been here for almost 10 days now. But the last 1 week has been very stressful with all this packing, buying of clothes and shopping for the baby, packing my bag, packing baby's bag, and on top of that alternate day visits to the hospital. And there have been several tests and tests, round and series of tests, non-stress tests, though they are called, but creating a lot of stress to me. Baki, I've packed my bag, and now any day, any moment, since 9 months are complete, I think any day I'll have to rush to the hospital then.
How are you feeling now?
Now I'm feeling very, I think losing patience also, a lot of anxiety, and it's an amalgamation of all feelings, I believe, because there's excitement, there's anxiety, lack of sleep, fear also, what's going to happen tomorrow or day after, and every single day I'm now counting, when finally I have to leave for a hospital. Fear about, obviously it's going to be a normal delivery, a C-section, or labor pains would be not natural, normal, or induced pains would be there. So fear of everything, and then finally going and delivering the baby on the labor room bed.
So, did you consent to this abortion then?
No, I didn't. My choice was mediated by many other choices.
Did you consent to this abortion then?
Rather than questioning my choice, perhaps we should question the circumstances under which I made that choice.
Did you consent to this abortion then?
I don't know if what I did was right or wrong. I can't talk about the right or wrong of it. At that time, I thought I was doing what I had to do.
It seems that the problem that has to be fixed is this fetishized object called falling sex ratio, rather than thinking about what is happening to women and what is the what are the conditions under which women live, what are the conditions under which women take decisions to become pregnant, do they take the decision to become pregnant, and so on. There's a large set of questions there. And I think two really alarming moves which the government has made of late. One was a suggestion by Renuka Chaudhary. Both are suggestions, both are her ideas. One was a suggestion earlier this year, I think, urging women not to have abortions but to leave unwanted children at these special institutions which the government will set up. And she says, Renuka Chaudhary said, this means this way the gene pool will be maintained and so on. So it seems as if the idea is to have institutions full of women so that the census office, census takers can walk in, boost up the sex ratio and walk out. What happens to these young girls? What are these orphanages? Your mind boggles. What did she have in mind? Why are they being brought up there? For what? And how are they going to be brought up? And what is the gene pool? Are you going to force them to marry and have children so that they will because only then will the gene pool be maintained. So these are objectives of a state. These are not objectives of any social movement, or they don't seem to talk about women as human beings. They seem to be treating them as, with the best possible intentions. I mean, Renuka Chaudhary obviously means very well. The other really dangerous move, which is actually launched as a pilot project in 10 blocks, is to monitor every pregnancy. Now, monitor every pregnancy, which is probably not such a bad thing, but monitor every abortion. And she said in her press conference that mysterious abortions will become difficult. Now, a mysterious abortion can also be a young unmarried woman who doesn't want to bear the baby, and she has no option but to go in for an abortion. She doesn't want to give reasons. It could be a mysterious abortion, can be a woman who may have 2 daughters, and she simply doesn't want a 3rd child. So she'll have to prove she never took a sex determination test. And there are, as long as there is absolutely no state responsibility for childcare, there is no social responsibility for childcare, it is the individual woman who is responsible for either doing it herself or for organizing a structure to do it. She has to take the decision.
How do you feel when you, for some of these tests, you also go to the labor room? I've been to the labor room 5-6 times. I more or less, I think 60-70% I'm prepared.
What have you seen around the labor room?
You know what? In fact, the first time I went to the labor room, I remember the bed adjacent to mine. A lady was already there in the labor room and she was howling on top of her voice. And obviously labor pains ho raha tha. So I think seeing her, I was obviously very nervous. But now that I've been, as I told you, I've been there 5-6 times, I'm more or less, prepared. is going to happen to me, and I have to take it naturally and as a normal phase, and it will come to an end.